have two more colleagues here among us, and Rajeshwari Srinivasan, our Chief Strategy Officer, and Eni Sridhar, our Head of Sustainability. It's wonderful, and I came to know that Titan Company is sort of first off the block in having an in-person investor meet. It's always been a pleasure meeting you in small groups, on the earnings call, and in forums like this over the last, close to 2 decades for me at least. And we've benefited so much through these interactions. You've raised the bar, you've made us think about our strategies, our competitive advantage, and made us a much better, more responsible company. So thank you very much, all of you here, all of you on the call, for keeping us on our feet and making us a good performing company all the time. Now, when we think of companies, we often think of them most often from a capability lens. How good is the strategy of that company? How good is their execution? There are some parts that we don't really think about, even though it may be somewhere below the surface in our consciousness. Some of us may be thinking about it a lot. This presentation is about sharing some parts of that so that the whole of Titan is something that you can perceive better than just reading today. And also the businesses which we represent are wide, but from a shareholder investor point of view, often it gets focused on one or two businesses which typically on the face of it appear to create the maximum shareholder value. And I also wanted to spend some time in my presentation on that. But the whole is greater than the sum of its parts is the message that I want to leave you with. And I also talked about some of those parts which are just below the surface, which certainly from an overall point of view have a lot to contribute.
Recording in progress.
The first part is what I call capability, culture, and commitment. And I'm just using a still from our most recent blockbuster television digital commercial on Mother's Day to illustrate this. People used to ask us over time, particularly with reference to the large competitors in the jewelry industry that we have, in the watch industry that we have, they also have money, they also have, large organizations. So how can you compete? And one of the things that we used to say is that, people love to work for Titan. Titan is a talent magnet. The best people in the industry across functions love to work for Titan and work for Titan. The result is an example like this, and I'm choosing a marketing communication example to illustrate, but this is equally, for example, the watch I'm wearing, it is the slimmest mechanical watch in the world, which is created by Titan company, designers, engineers, and manufacturing specialists. A product like this at this price is impossible in the world to actually get. So that capability magnet that Titan is, we need to appreciate. Money can't buy everything. Other competitors may have a war chest which is half as big or as big as ours, but their ability to attract people who can create stuff like this is low. The second is culture. And there are some aspects of the culture I wanted to just talk and leave it with you. A culture which encourages a free flow of ideas without the hierarchy stifling it. We can have the most junior person joining the company today, and in a meeting where I'm present or any of the CXOs present, make a point of view which is countering the prevailing view in that room, and actually nobody would take offense. That is the liberating democracy of ideas. A culture which enables dissent and debate to generate the most effective solution. There is, groupthink is not, that easily, happening in Titan. There is a lot of debate and discussion because we are different personalities, we bring different stuff to the table. A culture that emphasizes individual accountability, even while it sort of enables what we call a family environment. In fact, sometimes I joke that we are the world's largest family concern. A culture that encourages a very good sense of humor. We've often said that if you were a fly on the wall in a Titan Management Council meeting, you'll wonder how these people are actually running, what is a reasonably successful enterprise like this, because we, crack up all the time about something or the other, but in the midst of that, a lot of serious work is happening, a lot of innovation, cutting edge stuff is being created. A culture that makes us all care for each other. There is no concept, I've been in Titan 32 years now, the concept of a rat race. I don't even know what it means. But I know many of my classmates from college, they talk about it, who have taken premature retirement, say, man, this rat race is, I'm sort of fed up, I want to be alone. We just don't know what rat race is. Because Titan is a company where there is no ego. We don't have to win by climbing on top of somebody else. We can together win. And a culture which makes us all not take ourselves seriously. When there is a crisis, we don't have to get all worked up about it and pass that anxiety and tension all the way down. But we take our work, that gives us the mind space to actually look at the work seriously. The last is the commitment. And this is the picture on the annual report of FY21. And this lady who represents all the staff in our stores, there are 15,000 of them nearly across all our brand stores, all of them wore masks, double mask, shield, through much of FY21, much of FY22, so that the company can actually recover fast, prosper. They give back to the company. That kind of commitment. So this combination of capability and commitment is really something difficult to beat. So this is the first part of Titan that I want to leave you with. You would not know this. I mean, of course, you would know us, but I'm talking about thousands and thousands of people who combine capability and commitment and who thrive in a culture of that nature. The second is lifelong partnerships. I was in Benares on Saturday, and coincidentally, Benares was my first market visit in Titan way back in 1990. And one of the partners I met his son. That son was 33 years old or something like that. And I was recollecting that he was a 1-year-old baby when I first went to Benares as a Titan employee way back in 1990. And I've been going to Benares every 2-3 years ever since. And I've seen that boy grow up, and he's now, a strapping 32-year-old person who, and I joke that the babies that sometimes we used to carry around way back in the mid-90s are asking tough questions on store ROI to me today, because they are running the businesses of their fathers today. That kind of relationship, which is over time. Now, if you take some of my colleagues here, they're all 30 years, 25 years, 20 years in the company. So there are, of course, many companies where people spend that kind of time, but the kind of deep relationships that we establish with our franchisee partners, distributor partners, vendor partners is unique. And therefore, the whole groundswell of feeling for Titan company that this generates among them and among their employees is invaluable. So that is the lifelong partnership, part of it. You must, sometime come to a Karigar meet that we have, or a vendor employee meet that we have. It is something else. Some 400, 500 employees who work in Bombay, for example, we took them to this, what is that outside Bombay, that like Disney World? Yeah. So we took them there, and full day of water slides and all that. So that deep engagement of those people, and we are there with them. That is the second big part of Titan. The third is portfolio vibrancy. I remember many years back when I was the jewelry CEO on one such annual investor meet, somebody asked, I happened to be on the stage, somebody asked, why can't Titan just focus on the jewelry business? From a shareholder point of view. So I said, no. And I was the jewelry CEO at that time. I said, no, Titan is a multiple stakeholder company. When that lady steps out of the shower, dresses up, and then sprays that Amalfi blue on her in the morning, that feeling that it generates for her is no less than when she puts on that 80 lakh solitaire in the evening when she steps out for a party. So from a customer impact point of view, that Amalfi blue and that 80 lakh solitaire honestly is no different, and if you really think of it. And when I wear a 1,000 rupee fast track sunglass, I'm suddenly the handsome guy who otherwise perhaps in my own view I was not. So how do you value the impact of that product's benefit just by taking it's 1,000 rupees versus 80 lakh rupees? the impact is different. Sure, that 80 lakh rupee generates a gross margin, which is maybe 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs or whatever it is. And maybe you're all looking at that, but we are looking at, when the person is wearing that or spraying that or wearing that. Therefore, the portfolio, which is a wide portfolio, is a beautiful thing for us. And we going to build on that. And this part of what I'm going to talk about is that, which is our most recent baby, the women's ethnic wear. And our dream is to become India's most loved women's ethnic wear brand by FY27. We're looking at 100 plus stores, of course, a huge omni thrust, more than 1,000 crores of sales, 1.5 million pieces, and a transformation of the supply chain like what we have achieved in other businesses, and most recently in the jewelry business, which is also of that kind. And how are we going to do it? Revive, and we use the word vibe instead of revive because we want to really target the young woman. The sari is no longer attractive for the young woman because of lifestyle, because of convenience, but even the young woman. I have two daughters, 29 and 25. I know how they feel and how we feel when they dress up in a beautiful sari. And it is our duty, our responsibility, and it's going to be the task of Titan Company to make the sari exciting for the young girl. And using forms which make it easier for her to wear, revive the sari. Contemporary, elegant, differentiated designs, India under one roof. We have brought so many clusters across the country, many of them so unknown, and we're giving, in a way, reviving the craftsman's or the craftswoman's situation. And by bringing all that, by, in a way, giving honor to all that, creating a differentiated proposition. Handmade, authentic, very immersive retail experience. And those of you who come to particularly some of the villa, retail format strategies that we are doing, we have one in Bangalore, the other one we're inaugurating next week in Hyderabad. So that is a very different, ethnic wear sari buying experience. And of course, the Tata Trust and everything that comes with it. So this is the new baby of Titan Company, the Bangalore store. In fact, we have set up a loom, a full loom as part of the Bangalore store, again to give honor to the bunkar, to the weaver, and get customers to immerse themselves in this. We are also transforming the supply chain and giving the izzat and the income to the weavers. So we were there, Ambuja and I were there in Benares last week. So this before and after is the weaver shala, as we are calling it, and how you see the looms and the infrastructure and all that. Therefore, transformation, which is a strategic aspect of it, as well as a responsibility aspect of it. Coming to the second big baby, women's bags, we've been in it for about 7-8 years now. We're going to take off in FY23 on this category. Market leadership is what we're gunning for. Bag as utility, bag as expression, wearing a bag. People are no longer carrying bags. Young women wear a bag. So we want to make it possible for young women to wear more and more exciting bags. Of course, multi-channel, 3.5 million pieces, 1,000 crores. To enhance the styling and mobility needs of girls by creating a unique wear a bag brand that helps them to express authentic style. And these are about 1 year old and exceptional response, particularly in department stores. And we're going to build on it, and we will have more to share by September of 2022 on our real big thrust into this category. The next part is international significance. Despite going into Dubai way back in 1990 or 1991, the share of international sales to Titan has remained very small, under 1% or maybe under 0.5% of total sales. And but at the same time, when you think of it, India is one country, yes, but it's not one economy. I mean, it's a 5 trillion economy. Come on. If you put together half of Europe, that's that. So therefore, we never looked at, going outside India as something, from a emotional or a ego point of view. We looked at it purely from a market opportunity point of view. So if India has got so much opportunity, why do we go abroad? And that's the last, many years ever since we decided to close our operations in the US of Tanishq in 2008. That has been our thinking. It has really, helped us to consolidate, grow in the Indian market. But at the same time, there is this large NRI PIO opportunity. So the brand of choice for the Indian diaspora is a large opportunity for Tanishq and of course for Titan brand as well. And the diaspora opportunity is actually quite strong. It's been becoming stronger in the last decade, I would say. Affinity for Indian tradition and culture, very, very strong. People who are living outside India are more Indian than we are because it helps them to stay emotionally connected, stronger, and of course, all the successes of Indians in various areas in the US, for example, running so many companies is giving that confidence to them, pride in India, and for various reasons, the jewelry category in the US, in the West Asian countries, is more underserved than in India itself, and therefore, from a competitive play point of view, it gives us a lot of opportunity. So, big ambition here, brand of choice. Tanishq becoming the brand of choice for the Indian diaspora in North America and West Asia. We're looking at 30 stores, omni-channel, 125K volume, 2,500 crore plus sales. Of course, we will not be a global company at this scale because the domestic opportunity for Titan company is so large, especially because of the jewelry industry in India being what it is, and the runway for Tanishq and the other brands of Titan company being what it is. But from where we are, some time back to where we will be, 2,500 crores is a significant presence. But who knows? It is a beachhead for our next leap internationally. This is our Al Barsha, the mall front where our Dubai Al Barsha store is. It's an exquisite store, and the kind of feedback that we've got from not just NRI PIOs, but other nationalities like Jordanians, Emiratis, Egyptians, Saudis, Filipinos, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and therefore the opportunity that is sitting for Titan company through this to start with. And of course, we're also taking, bigger steps in the watch business and establishing even Titan Eye Care soon in West Asia. This is the design of our New Jersey store, which is going to open July of 22, just about 2 months away. So that was the international significance. The next is the digital expertise. Titan has become a very, very strong, probably the most accomplished assisted e-commerce company in India today with multifarious initiatives that it has rolled out. From next to nothing, in fact, nothing, I would say, in 2019 calendar, we are in the 900 crore ballpark for video-assisted sales of Tanishq today in a year. From nothing, we are at 1,100 crores of assisted commerce, 750 crores of endless aisle. People are going to store A, looking at the endless aisle, deciding on a piece which is somewhere else, getting that piece to be delivered there, most often only one piece, and they buy on trust and on the overall visualization that we've been able to do in the endless aisle application. Boundaryless engagement and service. We have done a lot of propensity models and recommendations based on our deep understanding of customers, their journeys and all that. And we are reaping the benefits of investments that we made in 2016, 2017, about 100 crore plus in various digital technologies. Leading with data, democratizing data access. So we have more than 890 users in the company using data and very, very vivid, simple KPIs which tell them what to do, 320 dashboards, 50 plus models. So if you see the digitalization of the front of Titan today, including Carrot Lane, it's at a very, very high, sophisticated, evolved level. We've also started experimenting using AI for design. There is a fair amount of design work that we do, which is very, very new and path-breaking and differentiated. There is also a fair amount of work that we do, which what we call as gap fillers and refreshers, which typically use principles of design of products which have done well in the past. Now, through AI, we are hoping to liberate the designers from the work, the hard work relating to putting what is called a better mousetrap together, and thereby releasing their time for doing deep design work. Across the value chain, we are now digitalizing processes with our partners, with our distributors, even with our multi-brand retailers in the watch business, whereby the stocking of what they need to keep in order to get a very good turn and the reordering of those which sell on the basis of how long they took to sell and the sales rate and all that is actually dramatically improving efficiencies. If you see that Tanera thing, it is actually a weaver to wearer traceability, which is so as soon as we pick up that sari from the weaving unit, this thing is fixed, and it is like a provenance, till the last point. And if that label is removed, that provenance is lost, and the system can detect that it is no longer the authentic piece to which it was stuck. So we're using technologies in all parts, digital technologies in all parts of our business today. The next is retailer for the nation. Now, every year we talk about how many stores are you opening? That's a question that all of you ask, we say, but what is not sufficiently conversed at that time is what I'm going to show. Where we are going. It is not just 60 stores of Tanishq, 140 stores of World of Titan, 250 stores of Titan I Plus. It's not just the number. It's where the Titan company flag is being planted well before the next competitor even thinks of that town. I'm just running through this just for you to get a flavor. Basti, Mandi. I wanted to do a quiz on like, where is Mandi? So, okay, Rajasthan is represented here. Where is Ballabgarh? Okay, Haryana is represented in this room. Kind of quiz, but maybe I don't have the time for that. But that is the level of deep. So Malda, Jajpur, Kuch Bihar, Ambikapur, Eluru. Where is Eluru? This is a very northwest and East Indian audience. Eluru is in Andhra Pradesh. Or Telangana, I'm not sure, but the earlier AP. Pollachi. Barech. Suratgarh. Bankura, Bhadrak, Itanagar, Bihar Sharif, Raxol, that's a town even I didn't know, Katihar, Boisar, Kalakuruchi, that would be a tough one, Amalapuram, Ranipet, Nippani. Anybody in Titan knows where Nippani is? That means we're really going deep. Nippani is in Karnataka, near Belgaum or Gulbarga. Sorry. So, CaratLane, a new brand, and a brand which we would associate sort of with the city, right? Young women, cool, online, digital kind of thing. Hisar, Aligarh, Bilaspur, I've been there. Guntur, I've been there recently. So that is the deep retailer for the nation. We are not just the retailer, but the retailer for the nation. We are transforming the standards of retailing in these small towns and offering overall exceptional value to the customer, all parts. Very good product, very good quality, very good value for money, exceptional in-store experience, exceptional after-sales service. What more do you want? That is what we are taking to this. The last part is the company with a conscience. We've been like this actually from day one. It's very fortunate that we are part of the Tata Group. So we're sort of born with that gene. And it just became more systematic as time passed. And today, of course, we are very obsessed with it. So the S of the ESG first. We have more than close to 20,000 girl children under the Titan Kanya program that we partner with KC Mahindra Foundation, Nandi Foundation on the one hand, and IIM Pact, which is IIM Ahmedabad alumni NGO on the other. And not only partner with them, not only fund them, but many of us are there on the ground in the villages once, twice a year, and keeping a very, very sharp eye on the execution, on the governance, on the impact, and sort of push our partners to improve the programs on this front. Very, very deep work with ITIs, Industrial Training Institutes, particularly in Tamil Nadu and a bit in Karnataka. A lot of skilling related work, a lot of affirmative action related work, another thing that we're very proud of. Another beautiful thing that we do is integrated village development in Uttarakhand. And, especially in the hills where living is so difficult, I think Titan Company's intervention helps a lot of these, villagers, deal with a better life and delivers to them a more sustained, living where they learn, new skills, bringing water to villages in Uttarakhand so that the women don't have to walk 1 hour, 1.5 hours every day for the next 30 or 40 years. And that's the kind of impact that our contribution in Uttarakhand and the water thing delivers. Happy Eyes is a big thing. We are an eye care company. We do a lot of interventions, particularly with school children. A lot of volunteering work that company employees are involved, feel strongly in Pantnagar, in Hosur, in Bangalore, in various parts of the country. On the environment side, this is the beautiful lake which is next to our Titan campus. I think a few of you have been to the Titan campus in Electronic City. And maybe when you came, that lake was not brimming with water, but it is now. It's one of the most beautiful lakes in that we have seen. And we are fortunate to have a lake just where it overlooks our office. So when we stand on our campus, we can see this beautiful lake, which we have, worked to rejuvenate. This is the second lake that next to our jewelry factory in Hosur coming up. In another 1-2 years, it will be another beautiful body of water. A lot of work on check dams, farm ponds, percolation, etc. Wind energy, we are moving very fast to get 100% renewable energy for all our manufacturing locations across the country. In the next 1 year to 18 months, we hope to reach that kind of achievement. Unfortunately, most of our energy is consumed in our stores, and the stores are all scattered. We have more than 2,000 stores now. To get renewables into retail is very, very challenging, but certainly manufacturing is. This is a 4 million liter cistern that we have inside the jewelry plant for rainwater harvesting. We are also a lot into forestry, Miyawaki forest, if you're familiar with it. It's a beautiful forest. For those of you who are not, you should go to a Miyawaki forest. It's so thick, you just can't walk through it, but that's a new technology through which actually the plants get their strength. Coming to governance, I don't know how many of you are aware, but in the first ever Best Boards Award instituted by Economic Times and AMROP, this was done in September, October of 2021, Titan Company was judged the best large cap company board in the country. We're very, very, happy about it. And to be in the presence of such stalwart companies, and I won't even mention who they are, much, much bigger than we are. For us to be judged like that was a feather in the cap for us. And in a group which is extremely well known, very well respected for ethics. We are a benchmark company on ethics and posh processes. So overall, these are the things that I wanted to share with you. The businesses are now going to speak to you about the ambitions for the businesses. In most cases, we are giving you a sense of a distant future. In some cases, we are talking about FY23 because that's to do with our level of preparation and discussion on this subject. And I hope I have given you a flavor of Titan Company, the other parts of the Titan Company which you are not that familiar with, and also leading you to think about how the whole is actually greater than the sum of its parts. And on closing, maximizing shareholder value through stakeholder focus, being good is good for business. Being good is good for business.